Well, it finally happened. Disney found a way to make The Predator boring. While Disney spent 2025 watching their billion-dollar franchises crash and burn, guess what saved them from complete box office annihilation? A Predator movie with a $110 million budget that stars Elle Fanning as a quirky android who never shuts up, with a cute alien pet that's definitely getting turned into toys, where the big bad monster is just a mama protecting her baby, and the Predator literally has daddy issues. And if you dare criticize any of this, you're an incel, you're a Nazi, you're rage baiting. Welcome to the Predator Badlands culture war, where Disney turned the Predator into the Mandalorian and then weaponized their shills to attack anyone who noticed. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to The Critical Nerd, where we protect good movies from the Disney machine, one franchise at a time. Today, we're diving into Predator Badlands, the most 5 out of 10 movie in a year of 5 out of 10 movies. It opened with franchise best numbers, but more importantly, it's become the most divisive movie of 2025, with YouTubers, critics, and fans literally at each other's throats. The Critical Drinker put out a review calling it Disney slop, and got over 1 million views within about 3 days. And the meltdown from Disney Defenders has been absolutely glorious. Now, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, smash like, and join the rebellion. Oh, don't forget to hit that notification bell, because we're about to break down how Disney Disney-fied another iconic franchise and why people are losing their minds over it. So we need to talk business first. We need to talk about the numbers. Predator Badlands opened to $40 million domestically, $80 million worldwide, franchise best numbers. It cost $110 million to produce, with at least $60 million in marketing. Excuse me. That means it needs somewhere in the neighborhood of $400 million to actually break even. Now, general audiences gave it an A- cinema score. Critics gave it 85% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the trades are calling this a victory. But here's what nobody's talking about. Exactly what is this movie? I mean, according to the Friday Night Tights crew, and this is the quote, the most 5 out of 10 movie in a year of 5 out of 10 movies. And they're not wrong. This is Alien Romulus all over again, where half the internet thinks it's a masterpiece and the other half thinks it's corporate garbage. Now, the plot, well, we've got a young predator named Deck, the runt of his clan, gets betrayed by his toxic masculine dad, crash lands on a deadly planet, and teams up with Elle Fanning's android character, Thea, who speaks fluent predator language for some reason. Oh, and he picks up a cute little alien sidekick that looks like Baby Yoda. The whole thing turns into a buddy comedy road trip with Marvel-style quips and a found family storyline. The big scary monster at the end? Yeah, just a mama protecting her baby. And the corporate bad guys? Wayland Yutani from the Alien franchise, because, yeah, Disney officially connected Predator and Alien. Where have we seen that before? Now imagine the Mandalorian Homeward Bound and Enemy Mine had a focus grouped baby, and this is what we got. So I need to talk about the Critical Drinker here. Critical Drinker, who has 2.3 million subscribers over on YouTube, put out a review calling this a goofy buddy comedy complete with cute animal sidekicks, an insecure protagonist with daddy issues who has to learn to connect with his emotions, weightless CGI combat scenes, and wacky banner from a quirky android co-star that feels more like an aborted Mandalorian script than anything to do with the Predator universe. I gotta say, that's fair, at least in my opinion. The video got over, again, 1 million views in 3 days. And Hollywood Twitter absolutely lost their freaking minds. Multiple response videos, I should say, calling him a bad critic, a drunk, and my personal favorite, a Nazi. Because apparently, not liking Predator Badlands makes you a Nazi now. Grace Randolph called critics incels for not liking the movie. She also gushed about, quote, the humanization of the Predator and a possible romantic relationship with the android. Yeah, a romantic relationship between a Predator and a robot. And it's not just the drinker. As Heel vs. Babyface, Disparu, Yellow Flash, even smaller channels got absolutely dogpiled on for expressing even mild criticism. One YouTuber said he was turned off by all the glazing and immediately got lumped in with Nazis and rage baiters. Now, the Friday Night Tights crew had one of the guys say his kids hated the movie worse than he did. I think that was Gary Nerdrotic himself that said that. Response from a Disney defender: you're just mad it's not toxic masculinity anymore. Well, all I gotta say is welcome to modern fandom, where criticizing corporate slop is a hate crime. Let's talk about what Disney actually did to Predator, though, because the defenders keep saying, you just don't want anything new. No, here's what's happened. This movie checks every single Disney box. Emotionally vulnerable hero on a quest. Check. Sinister family member. Toxic masculine dad. Check. Quirky sidekick for comedy banner. That's Thea. Check. Cute animal friend for merchandising. The alien pet. Check. Found family theme. Check. Societal expectations are the real villain message. Check. Sequel bait ending. Double check. And here are the actual plot problems nobody's talking about. First of all, you got the Kalisk, the supposedly unbeatable apex predator that even Deck's dad is afraid of. Well, he gets one shot by a predator weapon halfway through the movie. That's the same weapon they used to kill it at the end. So why was anyone ever afraid of it? 2, the movie becomes about Thea halfway through. It turns into her story about finding her sister and dealing with corporate evil. The Predator becomes a supporting character in his own movie. 3rd, the big reveal is that the real monster isn't the Kalisk. It's societal expectations. Both Deck and Thea have to learn their families are wrong and evil. Once they realize that, they gain inner strength. It's the exact same theme as Thunderbolts and like 5 other Disney movies this year. And 4th, the supposedly terrifying monster is just a mom protecting her baby. The real bad guys are the corporation. Brought to you by Disney, a large corporation. Making a movie where corporations are evil while selling Baby Yoda knockoff toys. I mean, do you see the irony here yet? Now, according to the folks over on Friday Night Tights, this movie went through focus groups. You can tell because suddenly there are jokes everywhere. Now, the violence is there. There's tons of it. But it's the most boring kind of violence. It's meaningless because it's just nameless synths getting ripped apart. You know, like the red shirts in Star Trek. There's no weight to it. You feel absolutely nothing. One reviewer described Thea as, and I quote, a ditzy bimbo with Tourette's who literally never shuts up. The android never stops talking. 90% of her dialogue is unfunny babble. Another said the Kalisk looks like it walks straight out of The Mandalorian. Multiple people called it Enemy Mine meets Homeward Bound. And here's the kicker. They don't have the balls to make a movie entirely in the Predator's language. That's why Thea is there, so they can have English dialogue. I mean, God forbid Americans have to read subtitles for more than 5 minutes. Also, and this is very important, the 1987 Predator with practical effects looks better than this $110 million Disney CGI fest. The creature design is a massive downgrade. They call him Lumpy because he's a runt. This is what happens when you turn a horror villain into a protagonist. You neuter him. You Disneyfy him. You give him daddy issues and a found family. And by the end, he's forehead touching his enemies like it's a Frozen sequel. The defenders of this movie have two main arguments. Argument number one, you just want the same movie over and over. This is fresh. Well, my response to that is, no, this isn't fresh. This is every single sci-fi buddy comedy trope from the last 10 years. There's nothing new about found family, quirky AI sidekicks, cute alien pets, or society is the real villain messaging. We've seen this exact movie 50 times. It's just now wearing a predator skin. Argument number two. If you read the comics, you'd know yacha culture is complex. They have horror and hierarchy. Great. Most people haven't read the comics. And even if they had, there's a difference between expanding lore and completely undermining what made the character work. Part of Predator's appeal was the mystery. Making him talk, giving him emotional arcs, putting him in a buddy comedy. That's not expanding the lore. That's changing the genre. But the real tell is how defensive people are getting. When outlets describe the film as queer-coded, because Deck is a runt dealing with societal rejection, defenders went ballistic. How dare you suggest this has any agenda? And yet when critics say this feels like a Mandalorian script, those same defenders say, you're just mad it's not toxic masculinity anymore. You can't have it both ways. The movie's defenders don't even deny it's Disneyfied. They just say you're supposed to enjoy it as a new kind of Predator movie. That's like saying The Godfather 4, Family Therapy Edition, would redefine the genre. So what does this really mean? Let's bring it all home, shall we? Is Predator Badlands a box office success? Yeah, probably. It'll make its money. General audiences seem fine with it. But here's what actually happened. Disney took an R-rated horror franchise about an apex alien hunter, sanded off all the edges, added cute creatures and Marvel humor, made it PG-13 in spirit, turned the villain into a misunderstood hero, and made it profitable. And they unleashed an army of shills to attack anyone who dared point out what they did. The success of Badlands isn't proof of a franchise revival. It's proof that audiences are starving for anything halfway competent. People are calling it great because it is. Not because it is, but because it's not the Marvels or Madam Web. That's the new standard. It didn't make me hate cinema. The Critical Drinker said it best. This has become a financial commodity instead of a sharp and violent artistic endeavor. Reshaped and remolded into a safe, inoffensive, focus-tested corporate product ready to be churned out by the truckload until it becomes financially unviable. The Friday Night Tights crew said, we need more coke, less woke in Hollywood. And honestly, they're not wrong. Predator 2 was a sweat-soaked, cocaine-fueled fever dream of a movie. And it was interesting. This is a safe, boring product. But hey, at least Disney made money while Tron Ares burned. So from their perspective, mission accomplished. Just don't expect the hardcore fans to ever forgive them for turning the Predator into a therapy patient with a robot girlfriend and a pet. So at the end of the day, Predator Badlands isn't the worst movie of 2025, but it might be the most symbolic. It's the perfect product of the Disney era, polished, hollow, and designed to be argued over online more than enjoyed in theaters. So what do you guys think? Are the defenders right for this bold new direction? Or are critics right that Disney neutered another iconic franchise into safe, boring mediocrity? And more importantly, Why are people so defensive about this movie that they're calling critics Nazis for not liking it? What is it about the specific film that's causing such a meltdown? Drop your thoughts in the comments if you've seen it. Let me know. Are you on team this is great or team they destroyed my franchise? And if you enjoyed this breakdown of both the box office and the culture war, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. In other words, ring that bell. Tell me, what's the next franchise Disney's going to sanitize? I'm the Critical Nerd, and remember, stay critical, my nerds. And I'm out.